So coming to standing, that's right, that's coming to standing, and feet hip width apart. Clasp your hands, place them at the back of your head so that the back of the neck feels nicely relaxed, legs slightly long, and just slightly sway from side to side. Just checking that the back of the neck is long, so that the chin is coming more to the chest, that you're feeling, it should be a calming movement, activating the vagus nerve for anti-inflammation.
Morning.
Morning. And then very gently lower the hands and start with the side to side as well. So this is another part of that swaying from side to side. And then just come to the centre, lift and roll the shoulders. Circling both hands up, hold your thumbs, and again that's swaying from side to side. Coming to the centre and lowering the hands, lift and roll shoulders. Circle the hands up. It's like a sun dance, given that there's no sun. Stretch your fingers out like sun rays and then circle the wrists down the other way. And then circling up. You can look ahead or up and then circling down. And then raise your right arm and you'll notice that one hand goes one way, the other one goes the other way. And then still with your right arm up, circle in the opposite direction. So the left hand will go in the opposite direction. And lower the right arm back down, lift and roll the shoulders. And then left hand up, circle in one direction. It's a coordination movement. And then circle in the other direction. And lower your arms. So lift and roll the shoulders. And then hands to the heart. We're going to come to start this practice. I was going to say, no, I won't say it. We're going to come to start this practice lying down. Bhuta Shuddhi. A practice for feeling balanced, centered, and tranquil. So if you can imagine that you are starting at the base chakra, which is at the base of the spine, and the sound for that is LUM, L-A-M. So if we were being very traditional, you'd say LUM, LUM, LUM lots of times, but I'll just gong, be gong, and invite you to think about the base of the spine, and then coming to line, legs out, and starting from the very bottom, hands can be alongside you, just gently palms slightly down, but just start to focus on circling your ankles in one direction. And then circle your ankles in the other direction. Stretch the toes out and release and relax the toes. And again, stretch your toes out, giving space between the big toe and the little toe, and then relax. And then bring your feet slightly together and just touch or connect your big toe joints together, so your feet go out and then your big toe joints connect, and it sets up a vibration that runs really throughout your entire body. You wouldn't think that this simple movement would do that, but it does, and a vibration is the opposite to stagnation. And then just release and relax. And breathing in, stretch your right arm up above you, your right back of the hand will be on the floor, extend your right heel. And breathing out, turn your head to the left away from your outstretched right arm. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then bringing your head back to the centre and gently lowering your right arm and releasing and relaxing your right leg. And then extending your left heel, raise your left arm, stretch it up behind you. You can still keep a bend in your elbow, your choice, and then breathing out, turn your head to the right. Stay for here for an in and an out breath. Breathing in, bring your head back to the centre. And breathing out, lower your left arm and release your left leg. Gently turn your head to the left and turn your head to the right. Head to the left and head to the right. And come back to the centre. Bend your right knee and place your right foot on the floor, the knees up to the ceiling. Bend your left knee and hug your left knee into the chest. Let your left knee drop out to the left into your left hand and place your right hand on your right hip bone. And then circle the left knee in one direction. So you're letting the left knee drop out to the left. And so the circling will be slightly more than perhaps we might do normally. And then very gently circle the left knee in the opposite direction, supporting the knee with your left hand. And then hugging the left knee into the chest, open the left knee out to the left, placing the left ankle on top of the right leg. And your hands can either be palms down on the floor or resting on your abdomen as you sway your knees gently from side to side. Your hips will lift, and how much you sway your knees from side to side is up to you. You can sway almost down to the floor, or you can keep swaying just gentle and more central. And then cross your left leg over your right. Engage your lower abdomen in and lift the right foot off the ground, sliding your hands down your legs, holding your right hand will hold the left shin and the left hand will hold the right shin. And just, you can stay here statically or you can just slightly wobble. And this is opening you up at the base of the spine, just creating space. And then very gently bring your right foot to the ground. Unravel your left foot, bringing now both feet to the ground, both knees up to the ceiling, hands either resting on the abdomen or palms down on the floor. And just sway both knees from side to side. The knees are going to go in the same direction and your hips can lift off the ground. And then bring your knees back to the centre and hug your right knee into your chest. Holding your right knee in your right hand, let your right knee drift out to the right a little bit and place your left hand on your left hip bone. And then just circle your right knee in one direction, supporting the movement with your right hand. And then just reversing, circling in the other direction. The hips represent where we're moving to, where we're moving forward to. And I guess that's quite an appropriate thought at the moment, knowing that we're going to be moving from one lockdown to another form of freedom. So it's where we're moving to. And then crossing your right leg over the left, hands either on the floor, palms down or resting on your abdomen, as you let both knees sway gently from side to side. Lifting the hips off the ground. And then come to cross your right leg over the left. Lift your left foot off the ground and slide your hands down your shins, holding wherever your hands fall, just above your ankle bone. And just feel the opening at the lower base of the spine. And you can subtly move an inch or two, a millimetre or two, if you want to make this a dynamic movement. Otherwise, just enjoy hugging your knees into your chest. And then just very gently place your left foot on the floor, unravel your right leg, and come back to knees up to the ceiling, feet hip width or slightly wider apart. Hands can be resting on the abdomen or palms down, and just come to sway both knees from side to side, lifting your hips. And you may want to join in with your head, turning your head either in the direction of the knees or away from the direction of the knees, is whatever works for you. So that you're moving the base and the top of the spine. How much you drop your knees to the side is up to you. You can really drop them so that one knee falls to the centre and then reversed. So this comes within the somatic anti-aging movement, exploring the relationship of the torso with the limbs. And then just come to the centre with your knees upright. Raise bent elbows above your head and just clasp either your elbows or somewhere along the forearms. Just resting the backs of the hands on the ground. If they don't go to the ground, that doesn't matter. Just opening up under the arms. And again, just gently swaying the knees from side to side here. So you're opening up under the arms, so it's part of the lymphatic system. If you let your knees drift down quite a lot, you're almost exploring the matrix of the diaphragm and the psoas as one integrated, I say movement, but one integrated aspect. And then very gently come to the centre and lower your arms back down alongside you. Hug one knee into the chest and then hug the other knee into the chest. And slide your hands down the shins to hold really just above the ankles, opening the inner groin. So it's like a supine Baddha Konasana. This is now focusing on the inner groin, the lower part of the lymphatic system, And again, you can slightly stay static or stay static or slightly move. You won't move very far, just a subtle bringing one foot in slightly and then the other, just to engage the movement so that it's slightly dynamic. Again, whatever works for you. And then dropping your right leg, holding under your left foot in a happy baby. So it doesn't matter if you want to hold the outside of your foot, then do. If you want to be more classic yoga from the inside of your foot, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Happy baby is the sole of the left foot to the ceiling and the left knee aiming towards the ground. Right hand can be on your abdomen or can be on your right hip bone or it can be palms down. And again, this can be a static movement or just subtly moving from side to side. Just check that your chin is not going up to the ceiling, back of the neck's long. And then just very gently bend in your left knee and put your left foot back onto the floor as you transfer your attention now to the right side and come to happy baby on the right side, holding the right foot however you want to, on the outside or on the inside. Left hand on the hip or on the floor. Again, you're just opening out the hips in a slightly different way. And very gently bending in your right leg and placing your right foot once more on the floor. Just placing your hands on the abdomen, elbows are out to the side. And just taking a couple of breaths here. With your elbows out, you're giving the body, the lungs, space to breathe. You'll notice the abdomen rises very slightly on the inhalation. And then very gently hug the left knee into the chest. Just take an in and an out breath. And then still holding the left knee, as you breathe in, let the left knee travel away from you to arm's length. And breathing out, hug your left knee into your chest. Breathing in, let the left knee travel away. And breathing out, hug the left knee into the chest. And breathing in, let the left knee travel away. And breathing out, hug the left knee into the chest. And then gently supporting the left leg, perhaps underneath the left thigh to bring your left foot down to the ground. Just gently sway the knees from side to side. Come back to the centre. And keeping the left foot where it is, hug the right knee in towards the chest. The Apana or Apanasana variation. Apana is a downward energy, which is our foundational energy, moving from the lower abdominal area all the way down through the legs, out through the feet. It's our energy of illumination. And then holding the right knee, as you breathe in, let the right knee travel away from you to arm's length, and breathing out, hugging the knee into the chest. Breathing in, let the right knee drift away from you to arm's length, and breathing out, hugging the right knee into the chest. And breathing in, let the right knee travel away from you to arm's length. Breathing out, hug the right knee into the chest. Bring the left knee in to join it so that you're hugging both knees into the chest. And just stay here, letting both knees hug into the chest. If you feel more comfortable, you can open your knees slightly so that the they're slightly wider. And then breathing in, let both knees drift away from you to arm's length. And breathing out, hugging both knees into the chest. Breathing in, both knees away from you to arm's length. And breathing out, both knees into the chest. Breathing in, both knees away to arm's length. And breathing out, hugging both knees into the chest. Just gently rock your knees from side to side. And we're going to come very slowly to a seated position. I'm going to roll to my right, but come up however it works for you. Rolling to the right rolls away from your heart, so it's a more restful ascent, but you can rock up or come to gradually sitting however you want to. And either with your legs out in front of you, for those of you who prefer to sit like that, or I'm going to come into an easy pose and just holding the knees or the shins, breathing in, sitting up, breathing out, round, chin comes to chest. The vagus nerve is activated. Breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, chin to chest. And breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, chin to chest. Come to sit up, and just very gently take your left hand and slide your left hand away from you, lower abdomen in as you raise your right arm, bend it at the elbow and just come over to the left. You can keep this static or just slightly pulse with your right arm in and out, chin in, tummy in. Just connect your fingers of the left hand to the ground to support you as you come up, lowering your right arm and then sliding the right fingers along the mat, raising your left arm, bending at the elbow. Feel that your body's between two panes of glass, that you're not coming forward. You're just opening up. You can come further to rest your elbow on the ground, if that feels better. Tummy in to press your right hand down to come up, right? And then just lift and roll your shoulders. Walk your hands slightly forward. Feel that you're lengthening in the base of the spine as you come forward. And you'll feel this slightly on the outside of your hips. And then very gently, just bring in your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders, clasp your hands behind your back and aim the knuckles to the ground. That's, I think, quite hard to do this seated. And just gently turn to the left. Come to the centre, gently turn to the right. Come to the centre and gently nod forward. Your hands may lift a little bit. And then just very gently come up. And then hands either side of your hips. And for those of you who are sitting in cross-leg position or Sukhasana, open your legs out to the mat. Just bounce your legs. Rub your legs or pat them. Just like dry skin brushing. Legs out in a V. Soles of the extend their heels, toes up to the ceiling. Lengthen your body as you circle your hands up, tummy in, and bending your elbows, come down over your left leg. Just stay here for an in and an out breath. Tummy or lower abdomen towards the spine as you slide your hands up your left shin. Come to the centre, turn to the right leg, bend your elbows and just slide your hands resting on your shins, somewhere along your right leg. And then sliding the hands up, hands either side of your hips, legs together, just bounce your legs again, point and flex your toes a couple of times, and then we're going to come to kneeling in a very gentle cat-cow position. So bend your knees, come onto your knees in tabletop, and just start to sway your hips from side to side. And imagine that if you were a fish and you were looking down on top of yourself, that you're, as you're swimming through, your hips going to one way, you're stretching out the side body, almost like an S shape. I hope that makes sense, like a curving. It's almost a reptilian side-to-side movement that we don't do very often, but it can be quite satisfying. And then come to the centre and stretch your left leg back, tuck your left toes under, lift the left leg off the ground, and then just rock forwards and backwards so that you're lifting your left heel a bit more, lifting the toes, and then just sliding back so that you're stretching the underneath of your left toes. Just activating the parts of the feet that we don't necessarily always activate, and then replace the left knee down to the ground. And come to the right side where you stretch the right leg back, tucking the right toes underneath, and then just very gently rocking to and forwards. To and fro. And then replace the right knee on the ground. Tuck your toes, and we're going to come up to standing, however that works for you. So come to press your hands down and roll up gently, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. And lift and roll the shoulders. So we've come through the base chakras to the heart. So bring your hands to your heart, circle your hands up, touch your fingertips in a dome. It's where you have more strength, apparently. It's called tensegrity. And then bring your palms together through the heart centre, roll down, and either touch your fingers onto the floor or touch your hands onto your shins, half lifting up, flat back. Breathing out, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Breathing in, straighten your legs, press your shins into the shin, press your hands into the shins. And then stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Circle your hands up, touch your fingers together, and then come through to the heart centre. And then again, as you circle your hands up, just touching. Breathing out, bring your hands through the centre to the heart centre. Bend your knees, bend your elbows as you roll down. Touch your fingers to the floor, and then perhaps just touch your hands against your shins, lengthening, half lift, flat back. Breathe out, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Press your hands into your shins, extending along the spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Circling your hands up, touching the palms of the fingers together through the centre. And one more time, breathing in, breathing out, hands to the centre. Circling up, just touching your palms, your fingers together. Come through the centre to the heart centre. Roll down. Touch your fingers to the floor. And then press your hands into the shins, lengthening half, flat back. Breathing out, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Breathing in, flat back. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra, standing. Settling your hands up. Clasp your hands and reverse the palms up to the ceiling. Breathing out, lateral stretch to one side. Come to the centre, stretch up and lateral stretch to the other side. Come to the centre, subtly turn to one direction, rotation. Come to the centre, subtly turn to the other direction. Come to the centre. Stretch your palms up, test lifting your heels. See how balance is today, and then lowering your heels, lowering your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. Not letting you off so easily. Hands on the waist, and then just see lifting your heels there. I've got off balance now. And then lowering your heels. Clasp your hands behind your back. Aim your knuckles to the ground and open out your shoulders, your chest. Stretching the chest. And just release your hands. Slide your hands down to the shins once more. Pressing into the shins, half lift your back, breathing out, bend in, elbows and knees bend. Press your hands into the shins, lengthen along the spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, hands up. Breathing out, slowly, hands down below, behind. Breathing, cross. Hands behind. Hands up. Hands down. The other cross, don't worry, forget about it. Hands down. Up, down, cross. Up, down, the other cross. Up, down, cross. Up, down, the other cross. Up, down, cross. And last time, up, down, and the other cross. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, turn to the left. Breathing out, turn to the right. Breathing in, turn to the left. And breathing out, turn to the right. Breathing in to the left. Breathing out to the right. And just repeat this in your own breath pattern. It's gently inviting the brain hemispheres to communicate with one another, and you're looking at the thyroid and parathyroid here as well. That's also a breath movement. And then finally come to the centre, lift and roll your shoulders, and then come to once more to the ground. We move from the heart to the throat. So we're going to lie on our back, knees bent, feet hip width apart, and we're going to come into a pelvic tilt. So flattening the back on the ground and then rolling the back so there's a little gap under the lower spine. Flattening the back and rolling. And flattening the back and rolling. Next time you flatten the back, press your feet into the ground and lift up your bottom. Raise your bent elbows up above and behind you. And then breathing out, lower your bottom back down to the ground. Lower your arms. Hug your knees into the chest. Soles of the feet to the ceiling. And palms through that V that your legs make together. And then hug your knees back into your chest. And soles of the feet go back down to the ground once more. Again, a pelvic tilt a couple of times. And then pressing the feet down, lifting the bottom, bending the elbows up above you, chin comes into the chest. You can lift up your bottom a little bit or a lot. If you lift it up a lot, just check that your knees are not splaying out. And then breathing out, lower your bottom, lower your hands back down to the ground. And when your bottom is connected to the ground, hug the knees into the chest, soles of the feet to the ceiling, opening your legs in a slight V, palms of the hands together. You can look at your thumbs and then hugging the knees back into the chest and soles of the feet down onto the ground once more. And then again, just a pelvic tilt. And last time, pressing the feet into the ground, lifting the bottom, bending the elbows, chin into the chest, and then breathing out, lowering your bottom back down to the ground, lowering your arms. When the bottom is down onto the ground, hugging the knees into the chest, soles of the feet to the ceiling, palms of the hands together. Hug both knees into the chest, and then just gently rock from side to side. And then holding behind the backs of your legs, you can clasp your hands if that helps. Just gently raise your feet to the ceiling. Your knees can be bent and just slightly sway like some seaweed moving in the water from side to side. And then gently come to the centre and bend your knees in towards you. And then unusually for us, we're going to roll onto our tummies, coming into a Sphinx pose. So take your time to come into line onto the tummies. Sphinx pose is when you have your elbows on the ground, so it's not a harsh back bend. You're just lying on your tummy, elbows out, you're looking down at the floor. Tuck your right toes under, extend your right heel back, and then just lift your right leg off the ground, and then release the right leg, let the heel drop out to the side, and wobble your bottom from side to side. Sacroiliac stabilizer. And then tuck your left toes underneath, extend your left heel back, raise your left leg off the ground, and then bring your left leg back down onto the ground, release the heel out to the side, and wobble your bottom from side to side. Take an in and an out breath. And then your elbows go out to the side. You can either rest your head on the backs of your hands or make fists. Open your knees out slightly wider. Bend your knees, soles of the feet to the ceiling, and just gently, like windscreen wiper washers, sway your knees, sway your legs slightly from side to side. It can be a little movement, it can be a big sway. Whatever works for you. And then lower your legs back down to the ground. Slide your arms out and bring your arms back, hands down. We're going to be coming up onto our knees. Come to knees apart and come to a form of puppy pose. So elbows on the ground, bottom up. You can stretch your arms out in front of you. Your head can go on the ground. You're stretching into the upper part of the back. Your elbows can be off the ground or on the ground. I've got mine on the ground. And then very gently slide your hands back, come to a seated position. Cross-legged or legs out, whatever works for you. And just bring your hands to your heart, and as you breathe in, open your hands out to the side. You can mentally say so, and as you bring your hands back to the heart, hum. Breathing in, just open your hands out, so. Breathing out, hands back to the heart, hum. Or just enjoy opening your hands out. we're coordinating the movement of the hands with our breath. So this is a breathing exercise, it's a moving meditation, it's a mindfulness exercise. As we open our hands out, you can just feel the air connecting through the fingers, and air connects to the heart. It's represented, it's the element associated with the heart, and connects to the sense of touch and the healing hands. You can see how the hands would link into the heart. Breathing in, hands just go out, breathing out. Come to rest the hands at the heart. Your head is slightly down, and just take a moment to have a wish for the day, your sankalpa. For thought, for yourself or for somebody else, for the day, a short thought. And mentally connect that thought a couple of times. And then let the thought go. The intention has been set for the day. And now taking a bow for yourself as you bring your chin to your chest. And thank you everyone for joining me today.